where are you going with the vision? I'm going to pull your website up while we talk about this because
Yeah.
I fell in love with some aspects of your website. But where are you going with this? What you're going to change the world like droves of family at a time if you keep rocking the mic like this.
Yeah. So our vision is really to give families the tools they can to be successful in this. Because, like you said, it's not the norm. And I really hope it is. Even people who have been divorced, even people who don't have good ties with their kids, it's never too late. Okay, when
Yeah.
I tell you that my dad worked his fingers to the bone, I'll tell you he worked 16 to 19 hours a day. And as a child, that drove such a wedge between my father and I. And so growing up, I hated my dad. I mean, I didn't like, I so many times said, Dad, I hate you. I wish you were sick and not mom. And I would cry about like why my mom was always sick and he wasn't. But here was the reality, Jackson. I actually loved him and I just wanted time with him. And so God gave us that in my 20s and he redeemed it. And I have such a close relationship with my dad right now. And that happened in my early 20s. So anybody that's listening that's like, "Oh, I don't have a great relationship with my kids. I ruined it. I worked too." It's never too late. Like it's
Right.
never ever too late. And I want to teach families and give them the tools and the community and the support system so that they can have a strong marriage, whatever marriage number that is for you. It doesn't matter. Again, you can always redeem it. You can always have it. Have the tools for that and the community and the support system. And like you said, when you're around that, you want to be that. Okay. So creating that environment and then helping them with the wealth building. So we help people buy income properties, whatever that looks like for them, and build it. I don't want to say quickly because that sounds like, like the fast class,
Get rich
it's like
quick and
build
all
it
that.
right, give it the foundation it needs.
With
So,
purpose. You're talking about purposeful,
yes,
intentional diligence.
exactly. And like bringing your kids in on the family vision. Because when you buy a single family home,
Real quick, I feel that from you. I gotta point that there's a massive difference between the person who's telling you like, oh, it's easy, like, oh, it's gonna be, it's gonna be a cake. If more people get in this life, would be a cakewalk and blah blah blah. Like, there's demeanors, right? You
yeah.
got the demeanor of somebody who's like crushing life. You're getting after it. You're making it
I,
happen.
yeah, I mean, we take steps every day. I'm intentional. Like I
Yes.
am very intentional, like with my kids, with my husband, with my work. Now, is it always roses? Are there times when I'm like, oh gosh, like where did that hour go? Of course. But like I'm intentional with forgiving myself for those and moving on. Same with my spouse.
Woo,
Like,
love
hey, you are human and I am human, and that
it.
still hurt,
Yes.
but like that's not who you are. I forgive you. We move on. We move forward,
Love
and
it.
because of my personality and my husband's personality, sometimes there's that clash because we're complete opposites.
Absolutely.
But we know that and we give understanding and time and say, hey, because we've been together 24 years, Jackson. Like this is not like,
Congratulations. That's so cool.
and so we've been through some stuff and we have 5 kids and businesses. And so it's definitely not a cakewalk. And no family, no marriage, nothing. I don't care if it's your first marriage, your seventh marriage, like if you have 1 child or 10, like it all has its challenges. What we want to do is cultivate a community, almost a cult, like the cultivate, right? Like create this where it is so normal in this space
Yeah.
that other people see it and they're like, what is different?
Yeah.
Like, I want that because we all truly do want joy and peace. And we want to leave a legacy for our kids. Like you said, even if you're not with your kids, you still want the best for them. You still want to give them success principles that they get to live a life that's, about other people, generosity, giving back, using their gifts and having great marriages and having great kids and, letting that cycle go on. I mean, I haven't met a parent. I mean, I never met Hitler, but like I've never met a parent that doesn't want better for their kids. Even if they left them, even if they abuse them, you talk to abusers and they still want what's best for their kids. They just did it in the wrong way. Right. And
Yep.
so when we cultivate this community and we have a vision for our kids, we want to teach them and give them principles so that they're successful and that they keep the wealth. Because like our community is for entrepreneurs, business owners. Well, they're busy and they have all these hats and they want to teach their kids these things.
Yep.
Sometimes they don't know how. but usually it's they don't have the time. So if we can marry that where they get to be an entrepreneur, learn, get wisdom, and their kids can be involved.
Yep.
We bring their kids in on the single family property. We teach them how their kids can even come in and like assess the property with them or look on Zillow or make it a family thing so that mom and dad don't have one more thing that's taken away from them.
Yep.
Because then they're going to look at money. They're going to look at entrepreneurship. They're going to look at real estate as a negative thing because that took mom and dad away.